Hello everyone, my name is Rampage and I'm back, this time with a Rivers of Blood build, but not just any Rivers of Blood build, the most broken Rivers of Blood build you will ever see. This build is capable of dealing thousands of damage per second and absolutely melting bosses. So if you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But with that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. So getting into the build, of course we're using the Rivers of Blood Katana, which you can obtain after defeating an invader at the Church of Repose. Make sure you get this weapon before killing the fire giant, because there used to be a bug where this weapon would become unobtainable if you killed the fire giant, and I don't know if it was ever fixed. Now I recommend you use a shield with this build, the Great Turtle Shell to be exact, and the great thing about this shield is that it makes your stamina regenerate 8% faster at all times, even if you are two-handing the Rivers of Blood. You can get this wonderful shield at the top of a tower in the Weeping Peninsula, right here on the map. You will have to use a spirit spring to get on top of the tower. Getting into the armor, I recommend that you use the white mask for the helm slot. The white mask is extremely powerful for bleed builds because it not only has decent stats, but a very useful plus 10% attack power buff that lasts for 20 seconds whenever blood loss occurs near you. The blood loss doesn't even need to be caused by you, it just needs to happen somewhere close to you. You can get this extremely powerful mask by heading to Mogwin Palace and defeating all 3 nameless white mask invaders in the Lake of Blood right here on the map. It is very important that you get this mask before killing Mog, Lord of Blood, because there is a bug that makes the mask unobtainable after killing him. If you did miss it on this mask, just use whatever helm you have that has the most defense. For the chest armor, gauntlets, and leg armor, I recommend you use the armor with the highest protection you can find. Preferably Bull Goat armor, which you can get from progressing the Volcano Manor questline, but only if Patches is still alive, so make sure you don't kill him. If you did kill him, then I'd recommend Lionel's armor instead. You can find it on a corpse in Lendel. So getting into the talismans, for the first talisman I recommend you use the Lord of Blood's Exultation. This talisman has the exact same effect as the white mask, except it gives you a 20% attack power increase for 20 seconds instead of a 10% attack power increase for 20 seconds. And yes, they stack together for a total of 30% attack power increase. You can get the Lord of Blood's Exultation by defeating Esgar, Priest of Blood, in Lendel Catacombs. For the second talisman, I recommend that you use either the Warrior Jar Shard or the Shard of Alexander, preferably the Shard of Alexander. You can find Alexander right here on the map. Now you have a choice, you can either kill him and get the Warrior Jar Shard, which will increase the damage of your Ash of War attacks by 10%, or you can complete his questline and get the Shard of Alexander, which will increase the damage of your Ash of War attacks by 15%. For the third talisman, I recommend that you use the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia. This talisman makes your attacks do more damage the more you attack, which is very powerful considering how fast the Rivers of Blood Ash of War can attack. You can get this talisman by completing Millicent's questline and choosing to assist her at the end of the questline. You will find Millicent at the Plague Church, right here on the map. For the fourth talisman, it's going to depend on you. I personally prefer Millicent's Prosthesis, which is a slightly less powerful version of the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia, that also increases your dexterity by 5 points and stacks with the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia. However, getting this talisman requires you to kill Millicent after giving her the prosthetic arm, making it impossible to get both the Millicent's Prosthesis and Rotten Wing Sword Insignia in the same playthrough. The Rotten Wing Sword Insignia is better, so I recommend you choose that one over the Millicent's Prosthesis. However, if you are planning on going into New Game Plus, then I highly recommend you go and get the Millicent's Prosthesis on your second playthrough. Another good option would be to use the Fire Scorpion Charm. The Fire Scorpion Charm increases your fire damage by 12%, but also increases your physical damage taken by 10%. The Rivers of Blood Katana has a decent amount of fire damage, so this is a decent choice. You can find this talisman in Fort Lade. If you don't like the previous two options, then I'd recommend you go for a defensive talisman instead of an offensive one. And you can never go wrong with the Dragoncrest Greatshield. This talisman reduces your physical damage taken by a massive 20% and can really help you survive some extremely devastating attacks. You can find this talisman hidden in a chest in Aphil, Race of the Haligtree. No build is truly complete without a good Wondrous Physick Combination. For this build, I recommend the Flame Shrouding Crack tier, which you can get by killing the Erdtree avatar at the Minor Erdtree in Caelid, right here on the map, as well as the Thorny Cracked tier, which you can get by killing the Putrid avatar at the Minor Erdtree in the Consecrated Snowfield. As for the stats I'd recommend for this build, I'd recommend having at least 60 vigor so you have a lot of HP. 40 mind seems to be the sweet spot for having enough FP to spam the Ash of War without going too overboard. 50 endurance so you can wear the heaviest armor in the game. It's kind of overkill, but more defense is always better, especially if you plan on going into New Game Plus. 14 strength so we meet the requirements for the Rivers of Blood Katana and the Great Turtle Shell. 18 dexterity so we meet the requirements for the Rivers of Blood Katana. Also keep in mind that the Millicent's Prosthesis gives you plus 5, so you only need 13 if you're using that. And for the rest of the points, I'd recommend putting them into Arcane instead of Dexterity because this weapon scales extremely well with Arcane, and having more Arcane will also boost your blood loss buildup, which is what makes this weapon so powerful. This is what I'd go with for a level 200 build, but you could easily make this a level 150 build by going with 30 mind, much lighter armor, and a bit less Arcane. However, leveling up in this game is extremely easy and you'll find many videos on my channel that will get you to level 200 plus extremely fast, so check those out if you want some help leveling up faster. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, don't forget to subscribe, and if you made it this far into the video, I want to let you know that I really appreciate you and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.